Another day closer to the game, Ohio State, Michigan, Saturday at noon in the Big House. Tim May, the 40-year vet, Andy Backstrom. It's me, Spencer Holbrook. Fellas, we just wrapped up with Denzel Burke. Talked to Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyle McCord, Emeka Ibuka, Cody Simon, and then, of course, Denzel Burke, Ryan Day, and Jim Knowles before that. But we can't go anywhere before we talk about Denzel Burke and the raw emotion we just saw from the third-year cornerback who started in the game as a freshman, had his share of struggles in that game, gave up a couple passes, had his share of struggles last year in the game due to an injury, and says that he didn't understand the rivalry. He does now, and he's doing it for everyone, the state of Ohio, Ryan Day, his coaches, Tim Walton, the teammates, and not just for himself. I thought it was one of the more powerful things that I've heard in the week of the rivalry game in my 5 years here. Tim, how do you react when you hear Denzel Burke talk like that?
It reminded me, I'm even getting chill bumps now thinking about it, as in, the deja vu moment of when Jim Tressel went in front of the basketball crowd there after being introduced as Ohio State's next head coach back in 2001, and told him, and especially, you'll be proud of the team in the classroom, blah, 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 but especially in 300 and something days.
I think it was 210, wasn't it? 310?
No, it was 310.
310, yeah.
It was January. So you interrupted my
Sorry there.
But it kind of reminded me of that speech. And we'll see if, in fact, Ohio State can pull it off. I mean, they want to, as Denzel Burke left no doubt, they want to return the dominance, the whatever you want to call it, that Ohio State enjoyed for quite a long time, for the first 2 decades of the 21st century. They want to somehow or another return it, and the starting point, they hope, will be Saturday.
Well, look, they got coaches on the staff that were part of this team. You got
Tim Walton.
Yeah, Tim Walton, James Laurinaitis. You got guys who lived this, they won this game, and they want to get back to that. And I think that's definitely tangible here in this building today.
Yep.
It was talked about by all of the people we see, Ryan Day, Jim Knowles, even the players. And I think that it goes back to what Ryan Day said after that Notre Dame win. It's for the state of Ohio, it's for this community, it's for the city. You get a sense that there's a greater purpose than, just going 12-0, making the Big Ten championship. It's an energy. It's all built around this. Everything they do this season is built around this game. I think we got that sense from the players. They were locked in, but they also shared some emotion today. I think that, by all intents and purposes, they're ready for this moment.
Think about it, though. You're on a path, and you've been on this path for a whole year now, and the gate you've got to bust through is right in front of you to get to where you want to go. Mm-hmm. That's what this game is all about this year, 11-0 versus 11-0. And, of course, people are going to be jacked up about it. And It was good to see Denzel Burke portray some of that emotion.
Yeah, he wasn't alone there. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. Talked about the 2021 class. That class will go down as one of the most talented recruiting classes in Ohio State history, right up there with the 2017 class. Except the 2017 class went 3-0 against Michigan, then went to the NFL. This class is 0-2 against Michigan right now.
Yeah.
And that sticks in their, like you like to say, Tim, it sticks in their crawl quite a bit. And
no gold pants.
The no gold pants, the no wins over Michigan, the comments that have been made in just their short 2.5 seasons at Ohio State about this program and about them in particular, the emotion is starting to come out for this week. And last year, I will admit, I thought this team was way too tense the week of the rivalry game. I thought this team was prepared, but also prepared to be tense because everyone in the building was tense. This has a loose feel.
And then they went up there and it's, 2021 they went up there and it snowed. You're right. Last year, I agree.
It was just way too tense.
Yes.
And this year, you can feel the emotion. They're letting the emotion out like they did in the Peach Bowl, that second lease on life. Yeah. They understand that this is a second chance to get a win over Michigan because a lot of this 21 class, wasn't playing a pivotal role their freshman year. But, it all starts there. And instead of talking about X's and O's like we do so many times, Andy, walking into this building on Tuesdays for press conferences, there was so much talk about the emotion that you have to play with, but don't let emotion play with you. The rivalry game and what it means to so many people. There wasn't a tensity there, but there wasn't a tense feeling, but there was an intensity. Yeah. And I think that's the big demarcation from last year to this year is it was so tense last year. It's not tense right now, it's intense, and there's a huge difference.
I'm going to steal that line. I like that.
Yeah, they're locked in.
Yeah.
But again, they're letting them feel that emotion, embrace it. But as you said, like Ryan Day said, play with the emotion, but don't let it play with you. And I think that was the message for everyone here, all the players we talked to, and also just so much that they've learned since last year. Jim Knowles especially, I thought that was really noticeable in talking to him. He said, you really have to live this rivalry to fully understand it. We also got that from the players that talked to us. It's one thing to hear about it, Kyle McCord said, he remembers watching the Curtis Samuel touchdown, double overtime game, when he was back in 7th and 8th grade. But he said, even when you're getting recruited and you commit and you sign, it's different than when you actually are part of the game. And Jim Knowles talked about how, when you go through that disappointment, it's not necessarily even just losing, but letting people down, the players, the fans, the other coaches. He said that's when you really start to feel the gravity of the situation around this city and around this rivalry. And I thought that was really noticeable, the way he talked about it and the way he learned, and then put that into play with the way they prepared. I mean, whether it was defensive backs having to run after being an explosive in practice, whether it was, just the way they've approached this whole season with a kind of a shift in defensive philosophy, that's all been shaped around this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, things were going pretty damn good for that team a year ago up until this week.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, and all of a sudden you get slapped back into reality just like you got slapped back into reality the year before. And if that doesn't have an effect on you, then you're really at the wrong school, at the wrong place. You're in the wrong rivalry. And that's what stands out about this team. I think, like I've said all along, I think long runs in this rivalry of losing and winning, when that all of a sudden pops, it brings you back to reality of what a rivalry is all about. I don't think those long runs are bad for a rivalry. No. Unlike some people think. I don't think a great rivalry is, well, you win at your home and then they win at their home and you win. No, you got to have somebody feeling some rancor. You got to have somebody taking it for granted after things have gone so swimmingly. And if there's one team that's not taking it for granted going into this game, is going to be the Ohio State Buckeyes 2023. And like I asked Ryan Day, sounds like a weird question, but it's really not. There's something to be said for all that matters on a game day. All that matters Saturday for this team is winning the game, no matter how it happens. A freedom kind of comes from that.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to just go play.
Yeah.
And you talk about the fallout afterwards, whether you won or lost, but the freedom of just knowing all that matters is winning, just go play, can really help a team.
Yeah, aside from the emotion, and I guess this plays a little bit into the emotion, Ryan Day was asked the same question basically that Jim Harbaugh was asked. Do you respect the other staff? And both coaches were completely diplomatic about it.
They almost said the same exact thing.
Yeah, this game is about the rivalry, and neither of them just said, yes, we respect the coaching staff. And that's important because this rivalry, as some have noted in this building, I'll give credit to reporters around the building, this rivalry has been built on respect. And, as a young kid in Ohio, I was taught respect the rivalry, and your family talks to you about Ohio State versus Michigan, but it's about respect and things like that. There's no respect right now in this rivalry. And maybe there's respect for the talent level on both sides. Maybe there's respect between the players. But at the top levels of this rivalry right now, there's not a ton of respect. And I love it. I love it.
I covered pro boxing for a long time, along with other things. You don't want two buddies walking into the ring. You know what I mean? I prefer this rivalry. I prefer it as it is this year. Something's hanging out there that everybody knows about, but it's going to have nothing to do, like I said about boxing, you walk into the ring and you've got basically your underwear on and a pair of gloves.
Yeah.
Once you cross into the ring, that's what matters.
Well,
that's what matters. When these guys walk across the line, what's going to matter is like Marvin Harrison Jr. was talking about, it's a heavyweight fight, man. He's getting ready. I asked him, is this like Christmas to you? Just to kind of see what he would say. And he goes, no, basically, when he wakes up on Christmas, you're excited, but what are you going to get? This is about waking up on Saturday morning, and you're going into a heavyweight fight, and you're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But nothing is a given.
Yeah.
As you walk into the between the lines, and definitely this year, I think that rings true.
And for so many years, this is the way I'm thinking of it right now, is for so many years, the only person the Michigan fans hated more than Urban Meyer on Ohio State Michigan Day was Jim Harbaugh, because he couldn't beat Urban Meyer. Now that Jim Harbaugh's beaten Ohio State, they love Jim Harbaugh as much as they hate Ohio State. And so that has fueled the hate in this rivalry. And so the vitriol that's going to come on Saturday, Ohio State is embracing that. The road warrior mentality, I wrote about it at Lettermen Row already today. Ohio State is embracing that. The fact that 110,000 people all want to kill him, the Ohio State's embracing that. Getting off the bus, probably having some things thrown at you, whatever is going to come on Saturday, Ohio State is embracing all of that. And it starts with Ryan Day. I got the sense there, but it definitely goes into the locker room because, again, take it back to the very top, what Denzel Burke said, like, you can just feel it right now, Andy, starting to build. And it's been a slow build all year, but that slow build is for Saturday and Saturday only.
Yeah, absolutely. It's embracing the stress, I think, is what Marvin Harrison Jr. said. Like, there's going to be stress on that Saturday, but you're embracing it. You're embracing the villain mentality a lot of them talk about, going into a road stadium. I mean, Denzel Burke said that he loved that atmosphere, as much as it kind of took him back a little bit, being from Arizona, snow on that day 2 years ago in Ann Arbor. He also loved the environment there. And it's another environment Kyle McCord will have to play in. We talked to him about, you know, those big moments, having to play at Notre Dame in the beginning of the year. And I think that was a big, you know, kind of reference point, as Ryan Day put it, to look back and say, hey, I did this. We did this as a team.
You're capable.
You're capable.
That's
right.
what that proves to you. You're capable.
And it's not to say that Notre Dame Stadium's the same as Michigan Stadium. I get it. The big house, it's bigger. There's more on the line in this game. But it's a reference point, and I think that that's important for this team. They started the season on the road. They're going to end the regular season on the road. And I think that there's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
Closing thought, Tim?
Yeah. They want to get to Indiana. I've always said this throughout this year. Ohio State's goal finally is to be 4-0 in the state of Indiana this year for the first time ever. They've been 3-0 several times in the past, including this year. But the only way, I just like this image of you're walking up to this gate and you're actually marching up to this gate, and your whole mission is to knock that gate wide open, because that gate has stopped you the last 2 years. Clearly, obviously, they got to go to the college football playoff last year, you know, but there's still this sting that was left by what happened in the game against Michigan. Now they have a chance to right that, and it's got to feel good, because if you wait 365 days, usually, the great thing about Christmas and this game is they both come around again.
Closing thought? Anything?
Yeah, we talked a lot about this 2021 class, all the people that are in it for Ohio State. Well, someone that at one point people thought maybe could be in it was J.J. McCarthy, and he's playing for Michigan right now, and was asked a lot today, Kyle McCord was, about his relationship with J.J., and Ryan Day was talked about recruiting J.J. Seems like there is respect there. Like, I do think there's respect among players. They even mentioned that, like, if you don't respect someone, it's not a rivalry. So, like, I do think among the players there's that respect. There certainly is between Kyle McCord and J.J. McCarthy. I think that's an interesting storyline everyone's talking about right now. Just among, you know, that's this 21 class, you know, that's part of that equation. And J.J.'s obviously the star of that team over there, and he was asked about it yesterday on Monday. He said, you know, he knows Kyle McCord quite well. They were in the same circles and everything. So just another wrinkle to an already awesome rivalry, and another thing to think about on Saturday.
Just a few days away, Ohio State, Michigan at noon in the Big House on Saturday. Tim May, the 40-year vet, making his way up north on 23. Andy Backstrom as well. Me, Spencer Holbrook, we're going to all be there to cover the game on Saturday. We've got full coverage coming at LettermenRow.com in every single minute leading up to the game between Ohio State and Michigan. Ryan Day versus Sharon Moore, Ohio State, Michigan, J.J. McCarthy versus Kyle McCord, Marvin Harrison Jr., Will Johnson. The storylines, the matchups, they don't stop until Saturday when the ball meets the foot, and we're all going to be covering every minute of it at LettermenRow.com. Go get that coverage right now. $1 for your first month. Actually, if you're on YouTube, you can get $1 for the first 2 months, and I'll put that up on the screen right now. $1 for your first 2 months, a YouTube special for the Lettermen Row people who watch this video. Go get it. $1 for 2 months of coverage. You can get it all the way through the college football playoff, and that's going to be a really awesome deal for you, and then you'll want to subscribe for the offseason after that.
Super and Peacock.
It certainly is, Tim. For the 40-year vet, Tim May. For Andy Backstrom, I'm Spencer Holbrook. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys in the Big House on Saturday as we continue to work toward the game.